Hi there. I'm here in the Angkor Wat complex of temples in Siem Reap. Here are 5 things you should know about Siem Reap and the Angkor Wat complex before you come. Number 1, you have to cover your shoulders and your knees, men and women, if you want to come into the temples. There is people and guides all around who instruct you to either buy a shirt or whatever you need to do so that you can enter into the temple space. And they are super strict about this at the Angkor Wat temple itself, because to go to the 3rd level, there are so many rules involved. But once you're up there, it's a breathtaking view. Number 2 is to get a ride around town. You can take a tuk-tuk, or you can do something called the Grab app or the Pass app, and it gives you a cheaper fare. It's kind of like Uber, and in fact it is Uber, just the Asian version. So if you want to get cheaper rides, or you think it might be cheaper, then go to Grab. Tuk-tuks around, it's like $5 to $6 to get from the airport into town. It's about $15 to $20 to do a day trip to the temples, and your tuk-tuk driver stays with you all day. And if you just want to go around town, it should be between $1 and $4 just to get around the downtown area. Otherwise, I like to walk. Tip number 3 is if you are looking for cheap food. It was taking me a while to figure it out, but I know that I can get a meal for $1. I know that I can get a full plate of food. It's usually fried noodles for me, but you can also do fried rice, some noodle soup, you can do fried spring rolls. There is usually quite a few things that you can get for $1, and all you have to do is just look for street signs, and they'll let you check out their menu, and you don't have to sit down at their restaurant, and they are very kind. And I like to say akon to them, which is their word for thank you. So if you are wanting to eat as cheap as possible, try just wandering around. This is my pretty well worn map. But the downtown area, if you go down towards the river, there is a lot of spots for $1 stands, and they have really good food. And you can also get $1 shakes, fruit shakes. You never should have to pay more than $1 for a fruit shake. And also, if you really like beer, Cambodian or Angkor draft beer is 50 cents usually everywhere for happy hour. If you're paying more than 50 cents, you're at an expensive place. And for me, it's a challenge. If I want to, I leave the hostel knowing that I want to spend at the most $2 for a meal, like food and drink. And I can usually do that within 15-20 minutes. And it makes me experience more of the town too. Tip number 5 is that you should always follow trails, already walked trails. Cambodia was bombed heavily in the wars, and so you need to be aware that there are tons of landmines that are still being uncovered daily, and they have a couple different ways to find those landmines, and they use dogs, and they use these giant rats, and they're really cool, so you should look into it, and you can go do a demonstration while you're here in Siem Reap. But just mind the trails and you'll be safe. My last and final tip, so if you are looking for cheap accommodation, I would get the app called Agoda, and it is really good in Asia for finding cheap rates. The hostel that I'm staying at this week is $2 a night. Incredible. And there was 10 to 15 options for hostels under $3 in Siem Reap. So I would get on there and check it out. Also, it's October right now, and technically it's the rainy season. It rained a little bit earlier today, but otherwise hasn't been raining much at all. So that also means it's a low season, and the fares might be cheaper right now. Just if you are wanting to travel as cheaply as possible like I do, there's one way of doing it. Before I let you loose, I just want to let you know that Siem Reap is an incredible place to go stay at, and if you are looking for some towns to check out while you're in Cambodia, I'd recommend Siem Reap. There's also Phnom Penh, Sihanoukville, Kampot, there's the islands Korong and Korong Salam, and I'm gonna head over to the, I'm gonna butcher this, Mondulkiri province and check out some elephants over there. So if you're in Cambodia, those are the places to check out. I'll catch you later. Bye! I wanted to just add one thing to tours. So as well as taking a tuk-tuk into the temples, you can also book tours through the Siem Reap shuttle bus. And if you're solo like me, it was a great option because it's $13 to do the sunrise tour to Angkor Wat, and that goes from like 4:30 till noon, and it was, yeah, $13. So then they do the Grand Circuit tour. If you're needing more than one day of temples, then you can do the Grand Circuit tour, and that's $15. Both of these tours include a minibus with AC, and they give you water, and they give you a nice place to go eat lunch. So if you're looking for something as a solo person, I would recommend that. By the way, it's so freaking hot. Like, I'm wiping a sweaty mustache off every 5 minutes.